Welcome to this tutorial. My name is Xander. Now this tutorial is part of our ExpressJS Prisma ORM Query Fundamentals course. You can access this course playlist available for free on YouTube. For deeper learning, the full course is available for purchase at Udemy. Find all the resources and links in this video's description. Now don't forget to subscribe to the channel for weekly promotions, discounts, and Udemy course giveaways. Okay, so let's talk about unique constraints. So in our database, there may be additional fields which we want to make sure that the data in that field is unique throughout the whole table. Unique fields in Prisma are fields that must contain unique values across all records in a table. So no two records can have the same value in a unique field. So let's imagine we assign the name here to be unique. That means that all records must have a unique name. So we cannot have two records. So this is a second record that has the same name. That won't be allowed. All the records in this field throughout the whole table must be unique. Now it is possible to specify individual fields to be unique throughout the table, but in addition to that, we may also want to create a combination of fields, which together they must be unique throughout the product, in this case, the product table. So here we have this AK, which refers to the fact that these fields will be unique, or the values in these fields will be unique throughout the whole table. Now in this diagram, we have AK, which stands for alternate key. So this is a candidate key that's not chosen to be the primary key of the table, but is still unique and can be used to uniquely identify a record within the entity or the table. What that really means is that the field is unique. So all the values in this field is unique. So we can individually identify every single record in this table via this unique value in the name field. If we know the name, then we can identify the whole data, the whole record in the table. So in the products table, we haven't added it yet, but let's go ahead and do that. So we have a name field, which is a string. Now we might want to specify a little bit more than that eventually in terms of the maximum length. But for now, we'll just add a string. And to make this a unique field, we simply use the @unique. So both of these fields are going to be specified as unique. So we need to make sure that when we add a product record, the name and the slug is unique throughout the whole table. So there'll only be one instance of a particular name and one instance of a particular slug in this table. So I've recycled the application and migrated with the information that we supplied so far, just for you to take a look. You don't need to do that, but here you can see, based upon what we have covered so far in terms of data types, you can see that every field, unless we explicitly specify, is set to not null. Remember, that means that when we insert a record, in this case into the category table, we must specify data for all of these fields. Now remember, in the product table, we specified the description and the updated at as allowing null values, or allowing there to be empty values whenever we create, in this case, the product. And you can see that is the case because it doesn't specify not null. Now we can see other things that we've already specified in the created at timestamp, the current timestamp, which will get the current date time for that field, as well as what we have just explored in this tutorial, setting unique to, in this case, it was the product table. We set the unique to the name and the slug. Now, what you're going to find here is that in actual fact, it doesn't specify in the fields that these fields are unique. You have to look a bit further down and have a look at the unique index. Now, we don't need to know anything special about indexes. Let me just briefly explain what's happening here. So this is the products table. Okay, so we have in the products table, we have a load of different fields, one being ID, one being name. Okay, so what's happening here is that the database is creating an index. So just think of it like another table. Okay, so in this index, basically we just have a name field. So every time we add a new record to the product table, let's add a new TV, new product. Basically, this name is going to be then placed in this index. We add a new record, let's just call that PC. It then goes into this name index. Okay, so this is going to keep a record of all the names that we have stored in the products table. So if we were, for example, trying to add a new product with the same name as some other record, then that isn't going to be allowed because we already have that in our table. Now, an index in our database basically speeds up the operation of being able to quickly search and find whether the product name exists or not. So this index is going to speed up this process. So when we add a new product, instead of the database having to search through the whole database one by one, having an index that allows the database to structure this data in a way that makes it easier to find. So for example, it uses a type of it could use a type of structure like this. So if the name that we try to insert begins with a P, then it can quickly look and filter out all the other products that don't start with P before it then gets to the actual product that we need. So it's just a quicker and more efficient way of quickly identifying whether, in this case, the name exists or not. Okay, so we've now seen unique used on individual fields, but we can also specify unique on two or more fields, creating a composite unique constraint. Now, without going into a massive amount of detail here, in the order products table, and we will learn more about this as and when we start to discuss foreign keys and main-to-many relationships and so on. But here we have two fields, the order ID and the product ID. And we want to make sure that when we insert data into this table, both the order ID and product ID combined is unique throughout the table. So by that, I mean that we want to make these two fields unique together, which means that imagine we insert order ID 1 and product ID 1. We want to make sure that throughout this table, there are no other records that have the corresponding or matching values in both fields. So although we haven't actually specified the fields yet in the order product table or model here, to supply or to define the unique on multiple tables or combination of tables, we simply use the @unique in the parentheses, the square brackets, and then specify the fields that we want to include in the unique constraint. So the key takeaways here, uniqueness ensures that no two rows in a database table can have the same values in one or more columns. Ultimately, this just helps maintain data integrity by preventing duplicate entries.